So this is one of those products that immediately makes you stop and think, do I actually need this much performance in my life? Because on paper, this is an 8TB NVMe Gen4 SSD, capable of hitting up to 7,000 megabytes per second read speeds and around 6,200 megabytes per second write speeds. And if those numbers don't already sound absurd to you, they should. That's desktop-class performance packed into something smaller than a stick of gum. Now, the Lexar NM790 isn't trying to reinvent the SSD. It's trying to push what already exists further. Bigger capacity, higher sustained performance, and more headroom for people who are constantly working with large files or loading massive game libraries. Let's start with the obvious one, speed. In real-world use, this thing feels instant. Boot times are basically non-existent. Large game loads, you blink and you're in. Transferring huge 4K or even 8K video files, it barely breaks a sweat. And that's really where this drive starts to separate itself from your average storage upgrade. Because this isn't just about gaming. This is about workflow. If you're editing high bitrate footage, running After Effects projects, handling 3D renders, or juggling massive asset libraries, storage speed isn't just convenience, it's productivity. And this drive is built for exactly that kind of pressure. But here's where things get interesting. 8 terabytes is a lot of space. Like, a lot. We're talking thousands of AAA games, entire raw video archives, full creative projects, backups, libraries, all sitting in one place. No juggling drives. No external SSDs hanging off your laptop. Just one unified, fast storage pool. And that's where it starts to feel a bit futuristic. Now let's talk PS5 compatibility. Because yes, this is officially compatible, and that means you can expand your console storage dramatically without sacrificing speed. Load times stay fast, games run smoothly, and you essentially eliminate the delete something to install something problem that every gamer knows too well. But there's always a trade-off, right? Heat. High-performance Gen 4 drives like this can get warm under sustained load, and while it does have thermal management built in, this is still something you want to pair with a proper heatsink or motherboard cooling solution, because when you're pushing multi-gigabyte transfers or long gaming sessions, heat is the one thing that can pull performance back. Now the question becomes, do you actually need this? And honestly, that depends on who you are. If you're a casual user, this is absolute overkill. You're not going to use 8 terabytes of ultra-fast storage just to browse, stream, or do light gaming. But if you're a creator, a heavy gamer, or someone who treats their PC like a production machine, this starts to make a lot more sense. Because what you're really buying here isn't just storage. You're buying time. Time saved waiting for files. Time saved loading projects. Time saved managing space. And over months and years, that adds up more than most people realize. And that's the quiet truth about high-end SSDs. They don't feel impressive in a flashy way. They feel invisible. Everything just becomes faster, smoother, and less frustrating. Now, let's be real for a second. We've reached a point where storage like this isn't just about specs anymore. It's about lifestyle. It's about whether you want friction in your workflow or not. And drives like the NM790 are basically saying, here, remove the friction completely. No bottlenecks. No waiting. No compromises on space. Just speed and capacity at a scale that would have been insane a few years ago. So is this the fastest SSD out there? Not necessarily in every single benchmark scenario. But is it one of the most balanced, high-capacity Gen 4 drives you can actually use in a real setup right now? Yeah, it's definitely in that conversation. And that's what makes it interesting. Because sometimes the best upgrade isn't the one that changes everything dramatically. It's the one that quietly makes everything else feel effortless.